What's up guys, Boost Auto here. Today, we're showing you how to install our patent-pending S-Series cab lights on 2008 to 2016 Ford Super Duty trucks. Let's get into it. Before we jump into it, here's a little bit more about our cab lights. Introducing our S-Series cab lights, Boost Auto's newest innovation offered with a wide range of customizable options. With our quality build and precision engineering, these cab lights are sure to set your build apart from the rest. Enhance visibility and add a premium touch to your vehicle's appearance with our exclusive features. Light up the sky with Boost Auto's S-Series cab lights. Option them out in our crisp white running light or our sleek amber running light that'll leave your build looking sharp. You can also option for our jaw-dropping startup sequence, adding personality to your truck from the start. And for the first time in the history of cab lights, we've developed groundbreaking technology from the ground up with our S-Series module. Our S-Series module enables turn signal functionality on our cab lights without the need for additional wires being run to them to add that function. Get them as a standard flashing signal or option for our premium sequential signal so your turn signal swipes instead of flashing. But here's the best part. Our cab lights are available as switchbacks, so they'll fit right in with all the other awesome Boost Auto products on your truck. Couple things to note before we jump into this install. First, the procedure outlined in this video is for 2008 to 2016 Ford F-250 and F-350 trucks that came equipped with factory cab lights. If you'd like to retrofit our S-Series cab lights on a vehicle that did not originally have cab lights, or you own a different vehicle, head on over to our website at boostauto.com for the latest in fitment, availability, and purchase all we have to offer. Now, back to the install. Let's go over what's going to come in your kit. Your kit is going to come with 5 S-Series cab lights and the mounting hardware. And if you option for turn signal functionality, you're also going to receive our S-Series module and the wiring kit that comes with it. We'll talk about that later. On the screen, you're going to see the tools required for this installation. Alright guys, this is a super important step. Before we start anything, we need to make sure that our seats are moved all the way back and our sunroof is open. Let's disconnect our batteries. Undo the 8mm bolt on your battery. And if you have an auxiliary battery, disconnect it at this time too. Now, we're going to be partially dropping our headliner. Let me show you how. We're on the passenger side of the vehicle. We're going to start by removing the roof bin. Now, your vehicle may have a different roof console than this based on different options, but steps for removal remain the same. You're going to try and work your fingers in until it pops, and then you're going to work your way around until it comes down. And then unplug your connectors. All right, now we're going to be removing our roof console support. It's 2 Phillips heads, and we're going to be doing this so we can guide our connectors out later down the line. Now we're going to peel off our weather stripping. Make sure to pull it off around the headliner and the A-pillar. Now at our A-pillar, using a pick tool, pop out the bolt covers. Take your 7mm socket and pop out the 2 bolts. These bolts are captured, which means that they're not actually going to come out when you start loosening. So you'll notice that once this panel starts to back itself out, those bolts are no longer in place. Make sure to guide your base and remove the panel. Now, we're going to be removing the A-pillar on the driver's side. Since we're on the driver's side of the vehicle, let's take off our sun visor. It's the T20. We're taking off the base and the support. Now, remove the sun visor assembly in the same manner on the other side. All right, now with that last step, your headliner should be ready to release. We have a sunroof. If you have one of these, you're gonna have some Velcro strips you're gonna have to release. Now that we've dropped our headliner, we can undo our sun visor connector. Follow the harness from your sun visors up to here, trace your wire and find this connector. Using a pick tool, depress this tab. We're going to repeat the same steps on the other side. All right guys, now that we've lowered our headliner and disconnected our sun visors, it's time to get these boring factory cab lights out and install our S-Series cab lights. Removing your factory cab lights are pretty simple. All you've got is a connector on the bottom and 2 10mm nuts. Alright guys, before we go ahead and install our S-Series cab lights, we need to make sure our roof is clear of any adhesive or dirt or gunk that's been built up. Take your cleaner of choice and wipe them down to make sure our S-Series cab lights and make a proper contact and ensure a watertight seal. And now that your roof is clean, we can go ahead and start installing our S-Series cab lights. If you have the box in front of you, you might have noticed that each cab light is labeled. And while they might look identical, I promise you there are some differences. Each cab light is labeled for a proper fitment. For example, number 1 is mounted closest to the passenger door. 2, 3, 4, and 5 being mounted closest to the driver door. Let's get into it. All right guys, here we are on the passenger side of the vehicle with cab light number 1. All you gotta do to install is guide the 2 posts in and then tighten your 8mm nuts on the bottom. Our gaskets are designed for the nuts to be snugged up by hand, which creates a watertight seal for our cab lights without needing to use any silicone or adhesive. So there's no need to over tighten the nuts. And simply hand tightening will get the job done. All right guys, let's install the rest of our cab lights in the same manner. Remember, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 being closest to the driver door. Let's get into it. With your S-Series cab lights now installed, we can go ahead and start reinstalling our headliner. If you optioned for turn signal functionality with your cab lights, you would have gotten our S-Series module. We're going to put that in our driver's side A-pillar over here, so we're going to leave that undone. However, if you option for running light only, all that's left of your reinstallation is your headliner and your batteries. Alright guys, we're going to show you how to reinstall the headliner on the passenger side. First, we're going to start with the sun visor. As the connector is located above the headliner, we're going to want to put that in there before we start bolting the headliner back up. On your sun visor, if your wire popped out of your retainer, we're going to want to make sure we reinsert that into the retainer before we go and reinstall our sun visor. Now we're going to feed our wire through our opening in our headliner. We're going to click it into place. Let's set our sun visor aside and repeat this action on the other side. All right, now while I'm here, I'm just going to reinstall the 2 screws on the base of the sun visor. All right guys, I'm back on the passenger side of the vehicle. At this time, we're going to fully install our sun visor assembly. Now we're going to reinstall our passenger side A-pillar. Remember, if you option for turn signal functionality with your S-Series module, we're going to go ahead and leave our driver's side A-pillar off for now. But if you option for running light only, you can go ahead and reinstall your driver's side A-pillar as well. Now we're going to install our roof console support as well as the roof console itself. Still on the passenger side, there's one thing we have left to do. We have to reinstall our weather stripping. Now, we're going to catch up on our driver's side. Remember, you have your sun visor assembly, your weather stripping, and your A-pillar. If you option for turn signal functionality, we're going to refrain from installing our A-pillar for now. Alright guys, now we're going to be installing our S-Series module. Let me give you a breakdown on how this works. Your S-Series module is going to have an input and an output side. Your input side is going to have a 4-pin connector for left and right, turn signal, and then running light. It's also going to have another 2-pin input for power and ground. Now your output side, your blue wire, is actually the wire that's going up to your cab lights. This is where our module will send signal to our lights from. This black wire is not required for this application, so we're going to go ahead and tape this out of the way. So here on the driver's side of the vehicle, we're at the A-pillar. We're going to be intercepting our cab light wire around here. We're going to take off this panel here because we're going to be running wires down the dash and it's going to make it easier for us to access. Now I'm going to have the camera swing around so we can show you better. Now we're going to use our scissors to cut off the electrical tape that's surrounding the loom that we need. Now that we're getting ready to intercept our cab light wire, it's important that we get the right wire. For 08 to 10 vehicles, your cab light intercept wire is going to be violet with a white tracer. For 11 to 16 Super Duty trucks, your cab light intercept wire is going to be yellow with a green tracer. It's critical that we intercept the correct wire at the correct spot. Again, for 08 to 10, it is violet with a white tracer. For 11 to 16, it is yellow with a green tracer. The vehicle that we're filming this install on is a 2015 F-350. So it fits into the 11 to 16 category with yellow with a green tracer. This is our cab light intercept wire. We're gonna be cutting this and stripping both ends of it right now. Now we're installing our S-Series module to the wire going up to the cab lights. Now we're going to show you the rest of the procedure from this side, as it's going to be more accessible. Right now, we're going to be installing a butt connector on the other end of the wire we cut coming from the factory harness. Now it's time to plug in our 4-pin connector into our S-Series module. Now take your orange running light wire, give it about 8 to 10 inches of length, and cut it. And now strip the end of it. Now take your orange running light wire and install it in your butt connector. Now we're going to plug in our 2-pin power and ground into our S-Series module. Take your 4 wires, left and right hand turn signal, power and ground, and pass them through the side panel into the driver footwell area. Make sure to keep them clear of any moving components such as your hood release or your parking brake. Now take your 4 remaining wires and tape them to a piece of straightened out metal. We're going to be using a coat hanger. Now take your wires, tape to a straightened out piece of metal, and we're going to be passing them through this grommet behind the brake pedal. We're here in the driver footwell. You can see right here we've got our brake pedal, our accelerator pedal right here. See, this is our main grommet we're going to be working with. Our vehicle already has some wires going through it, so we're just going to pass them through there. If your vehicle does not already have a hole cut in this, it should be really easy to pop a coat hanger through and work your wires through. Place your S-Series module here and tie it up to secure it in place. Before we start routing under hood, we're going to wrap up our interior. So that means we're going to reinstall our side panel and our A-pillar. With the A-pillar trim panel in place, you can reinstall the weather stripping and proceed to under the hood. Now that we've ran our wires through the firewall and under the hood, we're going to be tapping for signal at our headlights. But to remove our headlights, we need to remove our grille. So let's get into it. Guys, those of you who have a 2008 through 2010 truck, since your grille is attached to the hood, it swings right up at the hood, meaning there's no need to remove the grille. You can go directly to removing your headlight. For 2011 and 2016 vehicles, here's how you detach your grille. You're going to have 4 10mm bolts on the top of the grille. We're going to go ahead and remove those now. Now with our 4 bolts removed, we can go ahead and tilt our grille back and release the 5 tabs that are holding it in place. So here's a better view of where your tabs are going to be on the grille. There's 5 slots here, and what you're going to do is you're going to stick your screwdriver in there, then push down, and it'll disengage the tabs. We can go ahead and start removing our headlight. You're going to have 4 bolts holding your headlight in. 1 at the top, 2 on the side, and then 1 in the bottom right there. Let's get into it. Now that we've removed our headlight, we can go ahead and disconnect everything on the back of the headlight. We're going to be interested in this connector, but for tapping purposes, we're going to disconnect everything and set this aside. So here we are at the driver park lamp connector. This is behind the headlight. Headlight's been removed. We're tapping for signal at pin 3. So with our locking tab right here, pin 3 is going to be the lowest one. We have 1, 2, and 3. Pin 3 is our turn signal. We're tapping there. So we're going to cut part of this loom off so we can expose more of the wire, and then we're going to install a T-tap. So now we're going to install our T-tap on pin 3 and pop it in place. So now, taking your red and blue wire, we pass through the firewall. We're going to run this over to our driver's side headlight. Now we're going to take our red and blue wire. We're going to give it a little bit of slack from the area we pulled it from. We're going to cut it and then strip it. We're going to take this wire and install a spade terminal on it, and then connect it to our T-tap. Now, take your 3 remaining wires, power and ground, and right-hand turn signal. We're going to route those over to the passenger side of the vehicle. We're going to install our red and green wire in the same way that we installed our red and blue wire, this time just for right-hand turn signal. we're gonna install our red and black wire at the battery for power and ground. All right guys, now that we've tapped for signal on our park lamp connector, we're gonna go ahead and reinstall our headlight. Make sure to line up the clip in the back. Now we're gonna go ahead and install our 4 10mm bolts on the headlight, starting at the top. Now, reinstall your passenger headlight the same way. So now, we're reinstalling the grille. We're gonna loosely line up our clips on the bottom and then set them up on the top. And once we're up on the top in the proper orientation, we're gonna push our clips at the bottom in. Now, we're gonna reinstall our 4 10mm bolts that hold the grille in place. All right, now we're gonna be installing our power wire to our battery. So, we're gonna take our power wire and we're gonna run it to our battery. Strip this end of the wire. Now take your inline fuse provided in your kit and crimp your wire in the butt connector. Now take the other end of the inline fuse with a ring terminal and crimp your ring terminal on. Now we're going to attach this to our battery. Loosen your terminal, connect it to the positive terminal. Now take your ground wire and install it to your negative terminal. Same as before, cut the wire to length and install a ring terminal at the end of the wire. Then reinstall the negative battery cable. Finally, install a black ground wire to the negative terminal at the battery. If you have an auxiliary battery, reconnect it at this time too. Now, let's secure any loose wires. And that wraps up our install. Thanks for watching. Thanks for choosing Boost Auto for your aftermarket accessory needs. The S-Series cab lights featured in this video can be purchased on our website at boostauto.com. We also offer a wide selection of products, parts, and accessories for trucks and SUVs that are sure to take your build to the next level. If you want to watch more videos just like this one and get notified when we release new products for your vehicle, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. And with that, it's Boost Auto signing off. Catch you in the next one.